how does the Quran approach rulings? Now, the way the Quran approaches rulings is that, number one, rulings in the Quran are brief, and number two is that rulings in the Quran, the main principles are mentioned. Those are two important things to understand about rulings. Why do you think that the rulings of the Quran are brief? Why not mention, for example, like Salat in detail, all of the rulings of Salat and all the aspects and all the scenarios of Salat? Why do you think the Quran doesn't do that?
Doesn't want to overwhelm a person?
Excellent, very good, brilliant, that's it. So the Quran does not want to become too voluminous. Yeah, too many volumes of the Quran. It's overwhelming. Some people won't be able to learn it. People won't be able to act upon it. Very difficult. And you remember, theory is always problematic. Theory always has a limit. So that's why it's brief, but at the same time it's been explained by the Prophet ﷺ Sunnah through practice. Right, so it makes it more easier to act upon. And the second thing is that the principles, okay, the principles are mentioned because once you've got the principles, you understand how everything else fits in. You know the main core aspects of the salat, for example, or wudu, right? So you understand the core elements of that ibadah. So these are two important things to understand, and this is why we have the concept of, fard. Then we have wajib, and we have sunnah, mustahab. These concepts are because the rulings are layered, okay, from importance and priority to other things. Anyway, so what we're going to do now is we're going to look at examples of these in the Quran now. So I've listed rulings, some of the rulings that the Quran talks about in general form. So for example, we start with purity. In the Quran, if you go to Surah Ma'idah, verse number 6. Okay, so Surah Ma'idah, verse number 6. Here, all of this. So this verse of the Quran is to do with our wudu that we do. This verse talks about wudu, and it talks about taking a bath, and number 3, it talks about tayammum. 3 major issues of purity in Islam. Allah has summed all of that up into one verse. So look at the verse. Ya ayyuhal ladhina aman, all those who believe, when you stand up for salat, wash your faces and your arms up to the elbows, and wipe your heads and wash your feet to the ankles. And if you are in the state of ritual impurity, then bathe. And if you are ill or on a journey, or one of you goes to the toilet, or you've had intimacy with women and you can't find water, then perform tayammum with clean earth, and wipe your faces and wipe your arms with it. Allah does not want to make for you difficulty. However, He wants to purify you and to fulfill or to perfect His bounty upon you, so that maybe you'll be thankful.